Oh my god. If there is ever a movie that made my brain cells die, it is the 2016 Krampus 2, The Devil Returns. Like, that was an hour and 19 minutes of my life.
You want back.
I don't want back, because that means I'd have to watch this movie in reverse. And then, like, that movie's even more confusing. There's a reason why Doug the Caveman is not reviewing this movie right now, and that is because putting him through that movie, I think, is the most purest form of illegal torture I think anybody can witness.
I think it's called Duggery.
Dude, like, this movie was it's CIA level of torture and interrogation. Like, just when you think a movie can't have a shittier sequel, Krampus 2 comes along, 2016. And now, over to my broadcast partner, the King of Games 98. And he'll tell you what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Kevin.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Hello there. I am still the King of Games 98, and this is my underprivileged mentee.
Holla back at ya.
So, wow, this has been a long time coming, us watching this. I think we watched the original and reviewed that, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago.
I wish we never found out there was a sequel.
I kind of do too, because
like, I wish we, like...
This was legitimately so bad, it makes the first one look like...
Endgame. It makes the first one look like Avengers Endgame. And that's saying something, because the fight scenes, they weren't fight scenes.
No.
The blood was Kool-Aid. What story, dude? Like, I can tell you right now, after finishing this movie, I have no clue what happened. Like, and we sat here for an hour and 19 minutes, and I can't tell you a single thing that happened, except people died horribly. Ah.
Yeah, I mean, his face just kind of summed up our whole impression of this movie, basically. So the sequel, because I think the first one came out in 2013, the sequel was 2016, so it was only 3 years later.
They had 3 years to make this, and it was worse. It was worse than a dumpster fire piece of shit. I would say these two movies combined make Jurassic Park 3 look like Infinity War and Endgame. And that is saying something.
Wow. Okay. So, as I was saying, the sequel came out 3 years later. However, in the movie's timeline, these events are taking place 5 years later. So, there's mainly two plot lines in this...
Were there?
...story.
What?
Well, okay, maybe...
What plot lines and what story? Like I said, we sat here for an hour and 19 minutes, and I cannot tell you a single thing that happened except people died. And then the second thing, we'll build up that, because that just made me want to bleach my eyes, gouge my eyes out, bleach my brain, and then eat my brain. And, like, forget that this movie exists. And trust me, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Thanks, Ollie.
I saw a fish.
Wow, okay, where do I start with this one? So...
All right. So
So wait, are we going to talk about the actual two plot lines, or are we just going to...
So it picks off, so the way the first movie ends is Krampus kills his wife.
Yes.
And takes his daughter.
Heather.
That's irrelevant, all right? Names are literally irrelevant in this movie.
I mean, that's true. This is.
But yes.
This is true.
But yes. So then, Guy. We'll call him Guy because I forget his name already.
Wait, which one?
Guy. You know Guy.
Jeremy?
Yes, Guy.
Jeremy Duffin.
Yeah, Jeremy Duffin. His wife gets killed. His daughter gets kidnapped by Krampus.
His pets are getting skinned alive.
He sucks at life, bro. What do you expect? So then, they never stopped looking for his daughter. They didn't find the body.
Nope.
And then, bro, so that was like the main plot line. He was like looking for his daughter. Yeah. I'm going to pass it back to you because I didn't even realize there was a second plot line because the movie was that bad.
He said, I didn't realize there was a second plot line. All right, so that was plot number 1. Plot number 2, if you want to call it that, was Brian Hall, I think his name was.
That was the second plot?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh.
He said, I really didn't know.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the, what was it? The prisoner?
From
the first one.
Was his brother, and...
It was his younger brother, even though he looked older than him.
He was like 20 years older, dude. And they're both the same age.
So, his younger brother,
broke into their house at the end of the first...
Did he even say his name?
Dude, I can't...
Okay, we're just gonna call him younger brother.
Names are irrelevant. A lot of people died for nothing.
See, it just goes to show you, he was right.
So younger brother was a convict in the first movie.
Well, no. Brian Hall was a convict in the first movie. You said younger brother.
Isn't that younger brother? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Okay.
Baldy McGee beard. I thought he was the older brother. I thought the guy in this movie. I thought that was Brian. I thought he was Brian.
You mean the bald guy in this? You thought was Brian?
I thought for the past hour and 19 minutes, I thought that guy was Brian.
No, Brian was the convict at the end of the first one.
I didn't know this was Brian.
I think that was his name anyway. I don't know. It's like you say, names are irrelevant in this movie.
Oh my god.
So
they explained it. And I still don't know.
So Brian Hall, the convict in the first movie.
Are you sure that was Brian? Are you sure that was Brian?
Yes. Yes.
I am 2% sure that this bald guy was Brian.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just have Brian 1, Brian 2.
Okay.
Okay, so Brian 1 was the convict at the end of the first movie.
Alright. So
Brian 2 is Brian 1's younger brother.
But he looks older than Brian.
Even though he looks older than the Brian 1. And he's pissed off. He's like, I want revenge.
He was pissed?
Yes.
I couldn't tell.
Yes, he was. I want revenge against Jeremy Duffin for killing my brother. Brian 1.
Are we sure he's Brian?
At this point, I don't know. I really don't. I thought it was something Hall, so, you know.
Are you sure his name wasn't Deck? Deck the Halls?
Hall and Oates?
Maybe,
yeah. So, he was like, I want revenge. I'm getting revenge on that bastard. Blah, 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 blah. He's got his, 3 goons and his hot, big boob lady.
Basically, she looked like Beth from Dog the Bounty Hunter.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess, the second plot line, if you want to call it that. But it didn't help at all either Actually, plot lines didn't help.
No, what plot lines, dude? Like, all I know, this could have been an hour, a bed hour acid trip. Oh my god.
Yeah. So they go through this in an hour and 19 minutes. Jeremy comes out of hiding, looking like Joel from The Last of Us, shaves his beard and all his hair off, and it's like, oh, he's not fucking around. He is dead serious right now. Like,
Was he though? Was he? Because at this point, I don't know. Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't serious and he was just doing it for dramatic effect. Who knows?
There was drama in that movie.
So he goes after. Well, first he gets found in his cabin in the woods. No joke. It was a cabin in the woods by police officers that I think Sergeant Gill was his name, but he looked like
Gil was the police chief.
Or the police chief.
I think the guy's name was Dave.
Wait, the chief?
No. Oh my god, Brendan.
You said chief was Gill.
Yes.
Who was
but
Dave?
Dave was Brendan Dillmore. The two cops that went to his house. The one guy's name I believe was Dave. That much I am 100% sure because he looked like a Dave.
Okay, because the other guy's name.
The Wario looking mother effer, that was Gil, the police chief. That was Wario.
Right. That was yeah. Well, I said he looked like Dr.
No, it's Wario.
Oh,
all right,
okay.
it's Wario. All right,
It's Wario.
Yeah,
okay.
Wario. Okay, look at me, fat Mario, Wario. All right, all he was missing was his yellow Wumbo hat.
And then the other dude was Harry because he owned the bar in the first one.
Yeah, but that wasn't Harry. Harry was not in the beginning.
No, he was not in the beginning.
No, it was.
You're right.
Dave, and we'll call him. We'll call his partner Dave too. His hotter twin brother.
Okay.
Which makes no sense because if there are twin brothers that look exactly the same.
I mean, like the man stated, this movie has no names. You could literally just say A, B, C, D.
Well, no, they can. You can basically be like, "This is Dave," and then, like Jeremy, like he was in 2 movies. These 2 movies. And I didn't know his name by the end of this movie, because you think both movies are like what 2 hours and some change.
Well, no, actually, I think the first one was longer than this.
Because this is okay, so probably maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
I still didn't know his name by the end of it, and he was the main character.
Again, to support and back up his statement, names do not matter
Except
in this movie.
The only 2 names that mattered in this movie: Krampus, Santa Claus. Because everybody knows that.
And Donnie Baker.
Bro. I forgot about him after they introduced him. I forgot about him until Krampus whipped him to death, and then I was like, "Oh, he's a thing." forgot about him about 10 minutes in. Don't get me started with this, Mom.
Oh
my God.
So Jeremy comes out of hiding because the police chief thinks his daughter Heather is somehow still alive.
After 5 years, because they didn't find the body.
After 5 years. So after that, they go all throughout looking for her, and I don't even know if they ended up actually finding her.
No, they did. Well, they didn't, but she was found.
Okay, so she was found.
There's no beating around this anymore. So the scene was not meant to be funny.
No.
But it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
So this is going to be all over the place by the time this comes up because both movies were literally all over the place. It's one of those movies you're like, my brain cells are dying. What did I just watch? I have no clue what. So basically, he's running at Krampus, shooting, going, "Ah!" and then Krampus literally just turns around, backhands him, and then he gets knocked out. He basically one punch manned him.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
I don't know how this scene came into any of it.
No.
But he's tied up. There's a chick riding him.
Yeah.
She's wiping blood on her titties.
Yep.
And, like, blood running. And then you find out it's his daughter it was incest. That's basically the way to, like... And then the way you find that out, that Santa goes... He's like, oh, yeah, you're going to be a daddy and a grandpa. What a feat. And we're like... What? And I'm like, what? And I made the joke earlier.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why did this? Why did I have to be right about that? And then so he tried to delete himself. No, first he tried to shoot Santa.
He did.
And it didn't work.
Nope.
And then he tried to delete himself.
Yes.
And then that didn't work. And then Santa's looking at him and he's like, haha, Merry Christmas, see you next year. And then it ended. It ended like that.
Yes.
And then so you're like, so his daughter screwed him. And now his daughter's pregnant with his baby. And they decide to end with that. Basically, Santa's saying, you impregnated your daughter.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, see you next year. Sooner than that, maybe. And as far as I can tell, there's no third movie.
No.
And it pains me to say this, but I want to see the third movie just to see what happens.
Oh my god.
I know, I feel bad. I hate myself for saying that. Like, I really hate myself for saying that.
Yeah, the second plot, like, I think I don't really think it even mattered, honestly.
No, they all died at the end.
Yeah.
Guy was the only one left living.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Wario died.
Yep.
Monk died.
Yep.
Harry died. Everybody died.
Gil died.
Wario. I said that already.
Yes, you did.
Oh my god,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, there didn't even need to be a second plot point. They literally could have just had it as the one, and that would have been perfectly fine like that. But they choose to do a second plot point, kind of like how with the first movie, I guess just for continuation's sake?
Dude, no. Because it would have been just fine with the one, oh, your daughter might be alive because you never found the body.
I mean, yeah, you know
like,
what?
Because the second plot, the second plot in the first movie literally came out of nowhere. Supposedly Brian, if that is his real name, which I'm pretty sure Brian's the brother in the bar that was still alive, but you're telling me it's not, so I don't even know, so we'll leave it at that. So that plot point was literally the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Like, it came out of nowhere. Like,
right.
Guy's daughter screwing him, like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I seriously think the people that made this... Okay, the first one, okay, I can see, like, but how much drugs were these directors on and producers to make a second movie like this?
Yeah.
That must have been... This movie literally probably ended careers before they even got it started.
Yep.
Like... I'm scarred for life. And I'm a Wendigo, so I would know I'm immortal. So that's scarring me forever. I'm just kidding. I'm not a Wendigo.
Okay, so before we end this review of this wonderful movie,
Bro, that's harsh, dude. That's giving it way too many praise.
I know.
This movie has a 16% rating on Rotten Tomato. That's way too generous. Like, I think it deserves like a negative 100 because, like, that's an hour and 19 minutes of my life that I wish I could forget. It makes the first one look like Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
And that was like I didn't think a movie could get any worse.
Nope.
I would rather watch Jaws 4 for a year, and that was nowhere close to Krampus bad. Like,
All right, so before we end this, I want to talk about our favorite scenes in this movie because there was some that genuinely made us laugh that weren't intended for that, but we found hysterical. So we are mentioning them.
Shout out to guy running at Krampus, shooting him, screaming,
Yep.
and then just gets backhanded and knocked out.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's definitely up there.
The news guy?
Definitely up there.
So Brendan, tell them your favorite scene, because I know what your favorite scene was.
Okay, so there was two, and I can't choose one just because they're so great. So there was a scene where there was an angry mob outside of the police office. Oh, wait, why did I say police office? Police
Station?
Police station.
Office, station, same thing.
Okay, station. I meant station. And they were like, oh, angry mob and all. And then it just out of nowhere cuts to a kid in a wheelchair going. And I'm just like, what? Why did there need to be a kid in a wheelchair flipping the double bird? Like, what?
I think one of mine, other than the Krampus backhanding,
Yeah.
the way the news guy ended the scene.
Oh, that was beautiful.
He goes, like, what? Like,
okay, and then my second favorite scene is definitely, without a doubt, when Santa Claus is reading the stack of letters to him, and he starts to read this one, and I forget how it addressed him.
it goes, "Dear Santa, I'm not gonna tell you my name." And then Santa goes, "Well, I'm not gonna read your fucking letter." He throws the letter away.
That was great. Like, you couldn't have made that any better. Like, that was pretty top notch.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna read your fucking letter.
So,
Dear Mr. Claus.
So those,
It's actually Mr. Kringle.
Get it right. Excuse me. Those were my two favorite scenes out of the whole movie.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And remember, Happy New Year. I hope the God didn't start off 2024 with Krampus or Krampus 2.
No.
That's a good way to end the year.
Yeah.
Don't start the year shitty, because then your brain cells will die of a bad movie.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, this guy's gonna watch Snakes on a Plane. That movie's actually really good, so thanks, PlayStation.
See you on the next one.
Meep moop seep.